This past summer was unlike any other I'd ever experienced before. Mr. Burke, Father Arns, members of the faculty, fellow students, and invited guests. About a month before summer break, my mom told me I needed to get a job. I was not opposed to the idea, for I figured two things. First is that a summer would be very dull with too much spare time, and the second is putting some money in my pocket did not seem like a bad idea. So the search began. The first place I went was online. After searching the web, nothing really caught my eye, so I decided to ask around. I mentioned it to one of my aunts, who said she might be able to get me a paid internship at her law firm in Waltham. I would be the only high schooler, though. Everyone else interning would be a law student from either Northeastern or BC. Okay, I thought. That'd be pretty sweet. So one day after school, before JV lax practice, I went out to Waltham and interviewed for the position. I heard some things that I really liked. $14 an hour, which means with the hours you work, you'd make about $700 a week, was probably my favorite. Before I left, the man who interviewed me told me I could have the position and gave me a tour of the facilities. All right, I thought, this is going to be great. I'm going to make some serious dough. This is going to look fantastic on a college app. It's a win-win. That night, though, when I got home, my mom told me she found another option for me. She said the drive from Hingham to Waltham would be over an hour every day, and that I'd have my whole life to do something like that. So she told me that one of her friends had told her about a summer camp for kids with special needs. It was called SNAP, short for Special Needs Athletic Partnership. The hours were fantastic, 11:30 to 4, and I could longboard to work every day if I wanted, since it was less than 2 miles away. She warned that it would not pay as much, and would probably be way more involved than filing papers, but told me she wanted me to do this, and apparently so did my dad. But she'd leave it up to me. I had no idea which to choose, and summer was sprinting ever closer. I was not sure who to talk to, so I called my advisor, Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore listened to both sides and told me to do the one that I would enjoy more. He said I shouldn't worry about how something would look on an application, and then I knew what I was going to do. I was going to turn down the law firm opportunity and work as a camp counselor. I thought it'd be a relaxing summer of fun. There was fun, but I had no idea what I had just gotten myself into. For starters, I spent most of my work days in silence. For the 2 months I worked at the camp, the only times I talked to others was when my camper was going to the bathroom. This was because I worked with a 6-year-old named Zeke, who has a rare condition that renders him mute and searching for stimulus constantly. By stimulus, I mean that he's constantly searching for attention and, as a result, has little to no focus on any task at hand. I had read this all in the form, though, that I was given before. What I was not prepared for was when the first day came around and the experienced counselors came up to me and said, "I'm sorry, bro, you got Zeke." To which I asked what that meant. On top of the other obstacles the form had told me, apparently Zeke was the toughest kid to work with at camp because he was really easily frustrated. They also told me that he did not like the other children, and I'd be spending most of my time at work alone. If I could not communicate with people, though, I'd be frustrated too, so I understood why the little guy wasn't a people person, but as soon as the bus door opened on the first day, and there was one 100-pound, 6-year-old ginger who would not leave the bus, well, I knew it was going to be a challenge to connect with him. I don't mind challenges, though. One thing the form and the other counselors forgot to tell me was that Zeke has some strange ways of grabbing people's attention. He sometimes needed to be picked up and bounced like a toddler, which, due to his size, was not easy. Sometimes he randomly strips naked, especially after swimming. But the worst is that he loves to run away. He's looking for people to chase him, but as I learned, he loves to run to weird places, so this is sometimes a hassle. Some of these places are, but certainly not limited to, the women's bathroom, the driving range at the golf course, and his personal favorite, down the bowling lanes. When we'd be bowling, Zeke would chase the other campers' balls down the lane and start dancing by the pins. I'd just end up fireman carrying him back up the lanes, and he'd just laugh at me. Then we'd get scolded by the bowling alley manager. Then he did the same thing again when I put him back down. The kid was a menace. I loved it. We had other problems in the lanes, though. as I said before, Zeke didn't like the other campers, but many other campers disliked Zeke too, especially when he took them away from bowling. One day, fellow Arrow Declan McGuire's camper, Riley, was not having any of Zeke's shenanigans. After one of Zeke's sprints, he sat down in Riley's lane. Seeing this as invasion of his territory, Riley struck back by dropping his bowling ball on Zeke's head. Declan and I stared at each other in awe. Then we jumped into action. Declan grabbed a screaming Riley by the arm, and I threw Zeke on my shoulder, and we sprinted to grab the camp directors. Zeke was a tough kid, though. We just gave him some food, and he never shed a tear. Z-Man and I had some rough days, but we also had some fantastic ones, too. I came to like him so much that I even started to research basic sign language at night to try and communicate with him. In the last few weeks of camp, he would race off the bus smiling, and seeing that alone told me that I'd forged a connection that I'll remember forever, even if we never actually spoke a word to each other. Thank you.